So welcome everybody. And I am Veta Wade. I am here on the island of Montserrat, and this is another story time session. When you come into the live, please feel free to like up the live, click the little heart, and say who you are, where you've come from. We're going to be talking about putting ourselves out there and sharing our stories and sharing them a lot. And that's why I'm here today. Again, I'm doing a daily storytime session for anything between 15 minutes to half an hour. And today is where I'm going through Jason's Zine. And so first of all, if you are new to this live, my name is Vita. I'm in Montserrat. I work at the intersection of ocean, climate, and ocean conservation, science, storytelling, culture, this type of thing. I love storytelling, and I'm all about trying to find new ways of telling our stories. I believe that as we wrap up this end of the year, it's a really good and smart thing to do to try to put ourselves out there, to share our stories, and to do it often. And if you do need help telling your own story, then I'm always available. I'm quite happy to answer any questions that you have. And, you can just email me or comment. And my email is vita@vitawade.com. So today's story and today's sort of reflection is on the zine, Jason Zine. And so if you've been following me on Substack, you will know that one of my recent posts was on Jason Zine. So you may be wondering, who is Jason? So Jason is a friend. I've known Jason for maybe about 7 years or so. So he's been a really good friend. Um, a few years ago, an ex-partner of mine drowned. And Jason was one of the few people who was there for me in a very dark patch. Jason also helps me with my nonprofit, Fish and Fins, which you might be hearing about as well. You can see our website at aquafishandfins.com. And he has always been there for my son and also for my family. And recently has been doing a lot to support me in ocean science and research. He's now my partner as well. So Jason's a big part of my life story. And though he didn't want to have his story told, I personally wanted to share with the world his story because it's also part of mine, and it's a reflection of how all of our stories are interconnected, right? So I wanted to just take time today to read a little bit of Jason's zine, and it's on free download from my website, vitawade.com, or you can read it on one of my newsletters. If you go into my Substack posts, you will see Jason's zine. So I basically had been working on this for a few months, and I just took it to our printer. Her name is Sonia, and I had it printed, and I gifted it to Jason. So this is the first copy. I read it to him, and I'm going to read it to you. And yeah, he really liked it. I've made some edits, like you can see. I had made some edits along the way in here. So the final version that's on PDF is maybe, I think it's got a back page, and it has some slight changes in it, but this is the original one. So I want to go through this with you. And it says here, if you can see, Blue Zine. So it's a Blue Zine series. I'm telling stories in fragments, as they come up, as they, materialize, as I reflect on them, and so forth. Because I think it's a really hard thing to do, at least for me at this point, to sit and really write a book, But I think I can do it in fragments. It's easier. And that's what I'm encouraging folks to do as well. So Jason Zine, Jason Willett, that's Jason's name. And it says One Kill Shot, which is his nickname. He's a spearfisher. And in quotes, the sea is my passion. And that's what he always says to me. So the first page, I've incorporated some doodles. I was going through some scientific research, um, leading an expedition around the island, looking for sharks and exploring the deep for marine megafauna. And some days I would just doodle research. And I think it's a cool idea to actually tell your story of your research as well. So, yeah, these are just, I'm not a great artist or drawer, but I still identify as an artist. And so this is just, a little map of the island and a little line drawing reflecting the island. And the first page actually goes to say Jason's first love is mechanical engineering. Meet Jason, 35, who traces his roots to bustling George Street, but now calls the quiet village of Salem home. As a research assistant on Montserrat's Marine Megafauna project, Jason's steady hand and quick thinking have been key to unlocking new discoveries off our volcanic shores. Working side by side with engineers from the Ocean Discovery League, he's helped troubleshoot cutting edge tech in challenging open water, a testament to the skill and resilience of our island's young fishers. Jason's story weaves together local knowledge, technical smarts, and a real bond with the ocean. The the issues this issue celebrates how Montserrat's next generation is shaping marine science, building on tradition while pushing boundaries here. The ocean isn't just a workplace, it's a heritage, it's inspiration, and it's hope for the future. And so, oh, hi. I've also got Mokian. So welcome. Um, and so, yeah, I have a link to the full report on our deep water project. So if folks want to get a bit of an insight on what the research was that we're doing, there's also pictures here. That's Jason working with the technology. And that is also Jason working with the engineers virtually as well at home. So the caption reads, on board MV Hammerhead, Jason prepares to test Mackinac for the first time offshore Plymouth. And so Plymouth is our buried city. If you're new to this, I'm on Montserrat. Montserrat is an active volcano at the moment. And Plymouth is our buried city. So in 1997, our city, the volcano erupted and it destroyed the city, and a lot of ash and rock and sediment ended up in the ocean, covering our coral reefs. So we were offshore this area looking, and we also did some troubleshooting of the technology as well. So, yeah, the next page is to do with just sketches. These are just sketches, little doodles that I was doing. And I just love the idea of incorporating it in a zine as well. So just hand drawings, telling you about the superpowers of the Mackinac device, which is a $1,000 device, which we use to deploy offshore the island. And this is just a little image of like a fish eating the device. I had many worries while doing this that we would have lost the device. Either it would have fallen off a cliff under the water, like over a ridge, or maybe sharks would have eaten it. But we managed to keep them alive. There was just other concerns. Luckily, that one wasn't one of our concerns. And so the next page actually goes into okay. No, the dog's up. So it's a bit wild. Um The next thing is on this page, which is the Sagashum shrimps page. And here we have an image of cobbler fish that Jason had caught. And in the belly of the fish was lots of this white shrimp, which Jason discovered as well. This was on the 21st of June, 2025. So I'm sort of documenting some of the work that he's been doing. And Jason speaks local dialect. So in this section, it has second time I will see them. They don't come from far, but the fish no what to eat, no sagasam, no belly, just shrimp, nothing else. And so sargassum, for those of you who don't know, is overgrowing in our region and also washing ashore. It is inundating some of our beaches. Some say it's to do with the runoff of like agrochemicals that may be polluting the ocean and causing this this sargassum seaweed to overgrow. And others are saying that it could be to do with climate change and also the rising sea temperature. So yeah, basically on the sargassum comes lots of different marine invertebrates and animals. And the sargassum shrimp is one of them. We saw it being washed up a couple times, but we didn't know where it was coming from. And Jason discovered that it was coming from the sargassum. Now, the next thing here is hello, Melissa. I'm so happy you joined us. I'm a little distracted because there's so many things happening around me right now, but I'm persevering. I'm reading Jason's Zine, and so it's on my Substack. It's available for free download, and it's just another way where I'm telling stories that matter to me, for people I love, and also stories of my own life, as well as those around me, because I believe that we need to put ourselves out there. We need to tell our stories. We document our stories first. However you wish to document it, we need to share it, and we need to do it often. And I really believe that. So this is my effort by making zines, and this particular zine is about Jason. And so Jason, in dialect, and I'll read the dialect out to you. I know every fish. Jason's here with a barracuda, by the way. So he caught this barracuda, and right in our driveway, I took this photograph, and he says, "I know every fish you pick, you're gonna get the fish you really want. You're not going to get it easy. You could be the deepest diver. If the fish not for you, it just not for you. But if you see one fish down there, you get it, or you waste your energy going there because of you, i.e. me, Vita. I wouldn't catch a shark, but sometimes I would prefer to catch one than come home empty. But out of respect for you, I wouldn't catch one." And so this was interesting because this was Jason's reflection that I had documented, where he was sharing about the process of spearfishing. And for those of us who are involved in marine science and conservation, and for you as well, even if you're not into that industry or sector, it's one of the biggest challenges really is how do we protect our marine resources. And there are concerns about how we manage our marine resources, and whether or not certain species should be protected, should be banned from fishing, should be certain sizes and such like. But Jason's expressing here that as a fisherman, when you go to dive, um, the exact fish you might want to shoot, you're not going to get it. You might not get it. There's a high possibility you won't. So you got to get what you can get and make it back out, because you don't want to come home empty-handed. That's food on the table. That's money you could be making. And then he's also reflecting on the fact that because he's close to me and I am sensitive to marine conservation issues, he would rather not catch a shark, but other species, yes. But yeah, I'm really proud of his whole evolution as well, in terms of what he chooses to catch. And he's got a much smarter perspective now on fishing that is worthwhile. And so I have a little sketch here that I drew one day when we went out for a swim and snorkel. I was swimming and snorkel by him, and he was spearfishing, and that was his bag with fish. And this was a reef below. And I just wrote here, this is Heritage Swims, and it's a coloring page. Because if you get this and you want to give it to somebody, like maybe you have somebody that's early in their career, or a teenager who wants to get into marine science, they can color it. And just remembering that things like spearfishing and other traditional types of fishing, techniques in the region are also part of our culture and heritage. I took these photos as well. That's actually the photo I took of Jason spearfishing on that day. And that's Jason on the paddleboard one evening. And the next page goes on to talk about our actual research. showing you some more pictures. We were using baited remote underwater videos, and this is a carbon fiber um, bait box. And so in here, we chopped up fish. 70 pounds of balagool black tuna was chopped and crushed, weighed in 2 kilogram backpacks, and then filled into these. Then we deployed them off a boat. As you can see here, that's a picture of, and there was a rig that was taking photos. There's 2 cameras on either side, underwater cameras. And this was deployed, and you can see the images of sharks that were coming to eat them. You can see us preparing. Jason played a big part in helping to prepare the bait as well. I was literally covered in gunk, fish guts, and yeah, that's not the sexiest or nicest part of doing marine science, but this is part of the process. And oh, and so the zine that you have, there'll be a QR code if you download it, if you want it. There's a QR code here, and if you scan that QR code, you will see footage, the actual footage from the big cameras, which I think is pretty cool. I hope you will like it. And so this is an area called Bransby Point, and where I'm sitting now, it's just right off on the west coast. Of the island. And I have here, this image features a Caribbean reef shark. I've put in its sub-adult phase, a life stage reached after outgrowing the juvenile size of 70 to 74 centimeters, but before fully maturing at roughly 152 to 168 centimeters for males and 200 to 295 centimeters for females, a transition that typically happens between 4 and 5 years of age. And I've put this because it's a reminder that the type of technology we were using also had software attached that could help to measure the size of the shark. So by measuring the size of the shark, you understand its life stage as well. So that was really important. And yeah, the image is pretty cool. And this was a location that we saw most sharks, so much sharks all around, but the most sharks and the most diverse area, because we saw not just sharks, but a good collection of fish. We saw reef, but we saw a turtle swimming by, stingray, and things like this. So it was really quite a biodiverse area. But the clip you have is of sharks. And then I have just some pictures of those sketches I was making during this time. It was a challenging time because so many other things were happening in my life. I had lost my grandma. I was wrapping up a master's degree with my son. Things didn't work out the way I wanted them to work out in the end, but I put in a lot of work. And so this is part of the reason why I'm heart connected to telling this story. And so yeah, this is a drawing of how I was how we actually deploy the cameras. So we deploy the cameras um, at rigs across a line. And yeah, and so this will show you exactly what that looks like. That glasses is special to me too, because at the time, Senator Cory Booker was visiting the island, and he was a dear supporter, and I had the opportunity to tell him about my work, and he gave me his readers, because at the time I was really struggling with my own, and he kept using them as well. So shout out to Senator Cory Booker. Really appreciate him. Really great guy. Love him, respect him dearly. And the next one is, these are government-owned baited remote underwater video systems. And the government owns a set of 6, and they're costing about $42,000 US. And we were able to borrow them and use them for our research. Again, Jason is integral to all of this. And the next thing is the Caribbean reef lobster. Sorry, the Caribbean spiny lobster. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. But the Caribbean spiny lobster behind my lens with monstrous spearfishers. And yeah, we don't have the most ideal lobster grounds. We have quite a high energy shoreline. So the waters around us is also deeper. It's not the exact type of habitat that these lobsters really love, as compared to some place like Antigua and Barbuda, where you'll find lots of lobsters. But we do have here too, and when we get them, they're special to have, and we will either sell them or gift them to our neighbors. And so here I have just a little bit of knowledge here as well. Caribbean spiny lobsters populations entered breeding season between the 1st of May to July 31st. You've got to give them time to do this and help support our fisheries, because I'm thinking that we might, in fact, give some of these books to the library or maybe tourism, so people can actually see the work that we're doing, and knowing some of the people behind that work as well. And perhaps a lot of the time people hear my name, but my work is not possible unless we have some incredible human beings behind of it, and Jason is one of them. So so yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. To like up the live if you're still here, and if you're enjoying it, please feel free to make comments. Let me know where you're listening from. I would really appreciate that. Um, and yeah, so on to the next picture of Jason. And here Jason's commenting, I prefer shallow reef data collection and monitoring because I can observe the fish location and movement and then come back and hunt. This is in my interest and part of my hustle. That's how I live. I have to hustle. I would do in water turtle surveys. I like that, but we need to be paid, or I'm not going. One place I'm going, I'm not going to get is to the deep sea. Um, Research like that is too risky, but I would do in water turtle surveys. Yeah, that could work for me. And so that was interesting, a really interesting take for me, because I understood the perspectives of fishers like Jason. I understood the need to make a living like we all need to. And it's something that I continuously try to advocate for and insist upon amongst conservation scientists and fisheries scientists, is that we can manage the ocean space, but we also need to make sure that we are spreading the wealth and we're putting monies in the hands of people, and not just a quick dollar here and there, but something sustainable, and try to create monitoring projects that actually can stand the test of time, so that people can actually have long-term careers as well. And yeah, so we're on the board here. This is Mackinac that I mentioned earlier, and that's the government fiber um, carbon fiber rig. And so this is just another little illustration by me. And here I was reflecting on the fact that whales cross our. This is one of the a really important um, corridors for the whales to take their young in the Caribbean. And so yeah, here I was dreaming with the tide, daring with each sunrise, and it's just the tag at the top of the line of the page is dream and believe your dreams can come true, and these are just field notes. Sometimes we take our binoculars and look off the coast and see sometimes whales passing by. It's not often that we get to do that, but we are very conscious of the work of understanding who what species are in our waters, and when and how often and how many. So this because it just, and the reason why is because it really matters in terms of how we protect our space, how we protect our fisheries, how we promote our tourism, and how we better manage things like marine traffic as well. And so fishing data, um, here Jason is collecting field data, and for in-water turtle surveys, which is something that we do every year. Um, Now, and we did that last year. This year, we were in more of a planning and strategizing stage, but next year we will be back at it again. And here you can see Jason taking his notes underwater. And the reflection here is, can capturing more data and less reef fish be the ultimate side hustle? And there is a beautiful photo. I was really happy with how this photo came out. This is a photo I took of one of the turtles swimming by us. And this is an adult green turtle. Then we go on to here. I made some changes actually. So I have here printed in typewriter. I use typewriter.com because the typewriter I actually have home doesn't have the threading. But here I just really just wrote what came to my head. And I have here, I knew this would be our own chance to explore. I had a feeling time was not in our favor. The conditions were tough, the vessel not ideal. I felt an urge to draw this research. It would not otherwise be completed or continued by me. Thank you, Jason, for bringing me this far. The kind of teammates that anyone would love to have. Well, let's say lucky to have Vita. And this is a visual diary of our expedition. And there's a story behind that because ultimately I wasn't able to finish ramping up my research, and report in a way that was acceptable for the scientific community. But I had to focus on my money, had to focus on my home and my family. But and also the vessel that we were doing research on last year, that vessel went missing, and our fisher friend who was captaining that vessel at the time was disappeared at sea. And for me, this is very traumatic. This is very sad, and it made me really stop and reflect, take account of what am I really doing? Are we really safe? What are the resources and infrastructure that's needed to ensure that we can be safe at sea? Doing scientific research, and that's another little drawing. And even though I say I don't draw very well, I think I really like this style of drawing that I'm into, line drawing and, um, just doodling. I call it sort of like, is it called expressionism? It's like um, adult style kids drawing. I don't know. I didn't study art at school, but I like this. And here I've put some details on what fish we actually saw. So please do subscribe to my Substack and you'll get some more stories in fragments. Some of them will be in zines. Here there is my website, vitawade.com. And there's some more photos of our work in the community and Jason's hand in all of that. And so if you love this scene, tell me. If you've loved this session, please tell me. And remember, you can ask me anything. My name is Veta Wade. I've taken my whole photo out of the actual final version because I didn't want to really make it about me in any way. But I love this picture, and it was a lovely day out with Jason as well. So that's why it was in there. And I just wanted to say that again, put yourself out there, document your story, share your story, and do it a lot. If you need help to tell your story, if you want to ask me anything about ocean conservation, uh, ocean science research, or climate change, and culture of small island developing states, then please do feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. I try my very best to answer every email. And if you also have any questions about today's session, then please let me know as well. I love doing this and I love talking to you. Again, until next time, tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing about another zine journal for 2026. It's called Invitation to Create. I think you'll like it. And I'll see you then. Bye.